Hey everyone, Anne O'Connell with OC Publishing, and welcome to the author journey. Very exciting day today. It is party time, and you know what that means. We have a launch celebration of this gorgeous book, Honor Above All, by Yvette Ward MacDonald. We're celebrating today is actual launch day, so make sure you get out there, click on all the links that I've posted and sent, and pick up your copy. But today we have some very special guests. We have the author joining us today, and we also have the editor and publisher, Marianne Ward. Marianne led the project for this book, and we have our lead designer, David Edelstein, who will celebrate with us as well, and we'll talk about the whole process. And I'm going to bring them all up in just a sec, but for right now, I'm going to give you just a little bit of an intro to Yvette Ward MacDonald, who's the author of Honor Above All, who attended Maya College, a private girls' school, and earned a BA in psychology from Carleton University, Canadian girl. Dedicated to learning, engagement, and community service, she forged a career grounded in the spirit of altruism and leadership. Yvette co-founded Cornwall Youth Residence, offering refuge to teenagers from dysfunctional families, and served as president of the Arnprior and District Memorial Hospital Auxiliary. She also co-founded the Ottawa Valley Music Festival, a summer-long celebration of classical music that spanned the Ottawa Valley for over 25 years. She served as a board member for the Victoria Order of Nurses, her local district memorial hospital, and performing arts series. Yvette embodies the belief that learning, active participation, and community service are pillars of a fulfilling and successful life. Her commitment to growth and achievement extends to 14 years of piano study. Writing is an additional journey, enabling her to delve into her life and uncover its inner meanings. Honor Above All is her debut publication. So we're going to bring Yvette up and the whole team to celebrate. Yay! And cheers! Woohoo! We're partying. Cheers to Yvette. Congratulations on launch day. And this is warm. I'm going to take it off for now. It's still party time, though. Welcome to the author journey, Yvette.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. And Marianne and David, I'm going to unmute you, David. There we go. And what a team. Oh, my goodness. I was saying, it's really important when we approach a launch day and leading up to a launch of a new book, and then unfolding after that, to make sure that we recognize that there's an awful lot that goes into the process. And it does take a village. There's a team, and there are other people in this team, but the folks that you're seeing here, of course, our star author, and then the editor and designer are often, unsung heroes. So we want to sing their praises and sing them loud. So welcome, and again, congratulations. I think we've got some viewers have joined us. So I want to say hi to the folks who are watching. Sue Slade says, hello, everyone. Happy launch day. Thanks, Sue, from Dartmouth Book Exchange. So Yvette, how does it feel?
Oh, I'm a bit overwhelmed. Actually, this is an extraordinary new experience for me, and a little humble as well.
Oh, and you just got your book delivery, which is very exciting, on launch day.
Mm-hmm.
Overwhelming.
Yes.
It's always fun to open that box. Yes, and have it in your hand. So tell us a little bit about, where did Honor Above All percolate? Where did it come from? Why did you write it?
Well, actually, maybe I should tell you, my novel really spans from 1954 to 1966, and in Ottawa, in the Ottawa Valley, where I spent most of my life. And since I made efforts to accurately depict the time period, I feel that this book, incorporating historical events and settings and even figures, I feel that it feels well. It fits well into the genre of fiction.
Oh, it's
Um,
lovely. You
yes.
obviously you bring a lot of yourself into this, and Marianne, you've been working with Yvette for a while, right?
Yeah, I dug back in my files. Yvette was introduced to me through my mother. I think Yvette must have mentioned to my mom that she was doing some writing, and my mother said, "Oh, my daughter's an editor." So Yvette reached out to me and I checked back, Yvette, it was 2012 that we started working together.
Oh
So,
my dear, really?
so that was on a previous story
I was going
Yvette
to
had
say
written, I guess.
more than one book. Yeah.
Yeah, so a first novel manuscript. This is the second one that we worked on together. So yes, we've been working together for some time. Yeah.
But this is your debut novel, Yvette, and it's a new creative energy and activity for you. But you have quite a background, in the creative arts. So, and from your time in Ottawa and the festivals. So, does that all come to play when you sit down to write?
Oh, definitely it does. Yes, I feel that it has helped me all along. And maybe I should tell you about my first experience writing.
That's a great idea. Yes, please.
It was during my sophomore year, and at my college, and we had an exceptional English professor who had arrived from England. As I said, she was an exceptional professor, and she later went on to become a tenured professor at Carleton University. We all liked her very much. She was young, enthusiastic, and she had a love and respect of the English literature that was infectious to all the students. And one day she walked into the class and wrote on the board, your assignment for this semester, the first novel, the first chapter of a novel. And
that'd be scary for anybody.
it would be 5,000 to 8,000 words and would account for 80% of our mark. I felt overwhelmed. I knew writing seem effortless to some people, but to me, it was an incredible chore, and I was sure I was going to fail.
No.
And
you said at one point it was like shoveling gravel.
She suggested we write something about something familiar and something we knew. At 17 years old, I felt I knew very little. In each subsequent class, however, she did teach us the elements of writing, and for weeks I pored over books on writing techniques and every book I could find. To me, it was the most grueling exercise I ever experienced. Finally, we were required to turn it in, and I did so, haunted with the feeling that I was going to fail. And later, but all we could do was wait. So much later, I forget how long it took her to mark the papers. She arrived in class with the assignments, and I held my breath as she went ahead around the class, handing them to the students. And when she reached my desk, she said, "Yvette, could you stay after class, please? I want to discuss your assignment." Right away, I knew she had failed me. And it seemed that every student that day wanted to review their assignment, and I waited for the longest time in the back of the room. And to be alone with her, I was too embarrassed to have anybody hear what she had to say to me. By the time the last student left, I felt so nervous. I was weak. finally, I put on a brave face and walked over to her desk. And as I approached, I could see her shuffling papers in front of her. And I thought to myself, I knew she was aware of my presence. And I thought that maybe she was uncomfortable with what she had to say to me. And anyway, finally, she looked up and said, "Yvette, have you ever thought of becoming an author?" And, and I was so stunned that I said, "Oh, dear God, no, never." So she said, "I couldn't wait to read your next chapter." I guess it was then that I realized that there's more to writing than putting together poetic words or poetic sentences, that one also has to be creative.
Mm-hmm. And you've just proved to everybody that you never say never, right? I said you proved to everybody never say never, because you're an author.
Yeah, I think it was Picasso who said there was a child born, or an artist born in every child. And I think that could also be said for writers. And very few writers will fully develop that skill.
So I know, it's amazing.
That was when I was 17 years old, and I didn't start to write till maybe 2011.
Wow.
It was after we moved to Nova Scotia. We retired and moved. We had visited Nova Scotia and fell in love with it. And decided we moved to Wolfville. And we didn't know very many people. My son was there, but very few other. And we joined the Newcomers Club. Wolfville has a wonderful organization called the Wolfville and Area Newcomers Club. And it's an area where, like, as I said, it was a wonderful organization where they provide an opportunity to meet up with people with mutual interests. So anyway, and share interests. And in this group, they had meetings every month, once a month, but also they had what you called interest groups. There were gourmet cooking, cycling, tasting, bridge, book club, and then there was the creative writing group. And I decided that I was going to do the creative writing group. And that's when they came up with the idea of 5 words, and to incorporate in
like a writing prompt.
Incorporated and write a short story. And after I read mine, somebody said, "That could be a novel."
Well, you're a natural storyteller. You're
sequel to the short story, and then the sequel to the sequel, and before I knew it, I was writing a novel.
Wow. And
that's my experience in writing.
So cool. And little did you know that your designer would be in Wolfville for this book, right?
I'm surprised we've never met.
It
is a small community, and
it is. Well, I'm going to move to Wolfville so I can join the Newcomers Club and be part of that, right? Come on, yay! So, David, what is your impression when you see this beauty that you created?
Oh, it's always fantastic to see it, in print, to see it come out. It's of course, you've been looking at it, for many months on the computer screen, but it's really special to see it in print for sure. And when I can see it, looks great. Yeah.
Well, and I'll definitely get a copy to you. So talk a little bit about, look at this gorgeous cover. And David, you could probably address this, and Yvette jump in as well, but how did you arrive at this image? And of course, I know that Marianne would have been involved in the discussion and consideration. And again, big shout out to Marianne. This is her first project coming out as associate publisher, and it just warms my heart to really give kudos to you for leading this project, Marianne. Thank you so much. So talk a little bit about this image and how that came together.
Yeah, you definitely should get back to Marianne because she spent a lot more time with this book than I did, but I would say over the many years. But the image for Lady Justice on the cover was brought to me. Marianne told me that Yvette was very interested in using that image on the cover, and when we went looking at various images, it turns out there are quite a lot of images of Lady Justice statues, of bronze statues that are around. So we just had to find one that was the most suitable, had the right look to it. There, some of them have different different details, different looks about them, slightly different colors. So it was just a matter of finding the right one. And then this cover is not too complex. In fitting with the book, we wanted a cover that had a single striking image, the text to be fairly large, and have the way Marianne described the book to me when we first talked about it was it has an elegance, it has it's a sophisticated, elegant kind of tone to it, and so that's what we so we went with all along. So it was a matter of finding the image, the main image, and then the background to go with it, and putting the text together. And we tried a number of options until we found the right one. In some cases, with the background images, I might do some color adjustments, things like that. I think with this one, I don't even think I needed to. I think it was an image a stock image that we found that really just worked well. The color was good. It contrasted nicely with the Lady Justice statue, but not too much color, not too bright or vibrant. The book, because it takes place in the past, it's a bit historical. You want it to have a little bit of that feel too, right? It shouldn't be too modern looking. Mm-hmm. And we brought the text in to again to fit with the whole look of it until it was a complete package.
And I like how the first word sort of pulls the color from the statue. Mm-hmm. And what is that typeface? Do you know that offhand?
The typeface we use on the cover, I don't remember for sure. It might. I mean, I don't know that the names of them probably don't mean a lot to to too many viewers. Might have been Perpetua, I'm guessing, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, and a nice crisp. What do you think, Marianne? Happy with the process and how it kind of came out?
Absolutely. I mean, the image actually came from Yvette's son. So she had involved her family. I was looking to her to generate some ideas. What are you thinking for the cover? And she turned to her family, who had read the manuscript, and said, "What do you think, guys?" And I mean, you can elaborate, Yvette, but she forwarded to me a couple of images that her son had suggested, and one of them was another version of that same statue. Mm-hmm. We haven't mentioned that the story is very much a courtroom drama. The protagonist is a lawyer who ends up having to go on trial. So it was absolutely the right tone, the right image, and that it's a woman, where the central character in the novel is a woman. So of the ones that she sent as options, that was the one that I, got really excited about. And she agreed. She said, "Yeah, I quite like that one too." And then David found an even better version of that same image. And then it was really such a wonderful process. David sent numerous versions of it with different backgrounds to find one that was just the right tone. There's a certain Yvette liked there's a bit of drama in the sky there.
Mhm.
You know, a lovely blue,
Sure.
but almost hinting it could almost go either way, right? It could be storm clouds, or maybe we're just coming out of storm clouds. And that sort of feeling, I think, resonated too. So it was a wonderful process to come to just the right one. And when David sent it, it was just kind of a, yep, that's
There it
it.
is.
You know, bam, nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yvette, what are your thoughts? How did you
Oh,
find the
well,
process?
actually, David, we met today for the first time, and I never had an opportunity to thank you most sincerely for providing that perfect cover to my novel. The cover design exceeded all my expectation, and beautifully captures the essence of my story.
I think you're right.
So
And I
again,
think that
thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
this would be a
most welcome.
great
You couldn't
time.
be happier to hear something like that. That's what every designer wants to hear, right?
Absolutely. And Sue Slade says, I'm a font junkie. So sometimes, you know,
Oh yeah.
we'll love to hear some of those little nuances of what goes into book design, because, you know, you can pick a template, you can create something like, but it honestly, when you look at a professional designer's output, it becomes so obvious, you know, which books are, you know, just the covers thrown together by somebody who doesn't have knowledge, and then what is actually touched by the hands of a professional designer. I want to give a shout out. Lana Shoup is watching. Hey, Lana, thanks for joining us. And I think this would be a great time to have an excerpt read by Yvette. What do you think, Yvette?
Oh, yes, I do have one.
Would you like to
My
entertain us?
last
So,
Okay, let's see. May 1966. As Mary entered Woodbury and McLeod, Carolyn, the front desk receptionist, greeted her. Carl was just asking for you. Carl was the managing partner, and all the employees referred to him by his last name. Though his position required him to deal with all the lawyers and staff in the firm, Mary could not imagine why he would ask to see her. Is he in? As soon as she uttered the words, she remembered that Carl seldom left his desk for lunch. A ferocious worker, he frequently worked through the hours, not knowing what time of day it was, especially on days when he was not needed in the courtroom. Carolyn bowed her head with a knowing smile. I'm sure he is. Without saying anything further, Mary pivoted and walked toward Carl's office, checking her appearance in the glass walls that lined the hall. She was wearing a suit that outlined her slight frame and was in keeping with her elegant look. With her honey brown eyes and long, light brown hair drawn back in a sophisticated roll, she appeared stylish and professional. One could hardly describe Mary as fashion conscious, but she always strived to look her best. As she approached Cole's office, she saw him standing beside his secretary's desk, positioned outside his door. Good morning, Miss Clark, he said in his deep, mellifluous voice. Please go in. I'll join you momentarily. Mary nodded and stepped into his office. She had been here on other occasions to deliver a file material she had researched for him and had had little time to observe the surroundings. While she sat, she scanned the workplace. In spite of the large window on the wall, Mary found it somewhat confined, all the available space taken up with large bookcases, their shelves overloaded. Carl obviously doesn't believe in framed certificates, she acknowledged mutely. It was not because he lacked them. From the rest of the staff, she learned he had graduated with honors from McGill University and was a Rhodes Scholar, a notable combination. "My apologies for keeping you waiting," she heard from behind. His manner was like his speech, calm, reassuring, confident. "I understand you were asking to see me," she replied, turning to face him. Carl, tall, with dark receding hair, walked around his desk and seated himself. From what she knew, he had to be in his early 40s, and he looked a decade younger. "Yes, thank you for coming in," he answered. Mary simply smiled at him. "How are things coming along with Mr. Kerr's affairs?" he asked without preamble. "So far, they have presented me with little difficulty." "Excellent. I normally don't intervene in matters of wills and estate management, but Mr. MacLeod suggested that perhaps I could be of service to you." Those were not the words Mary had overheard booming out from behind the conference door the morning she was given the assignment. Mr. Kerr was one of the firm's most prestigious clients and a personal friend of Henry MacLeod, who had reliably handled his affairs. When Mr. Kerr requested that Mary take over for his last will, MacLeod was incensed that a junior lawyer with the firm, a dilettante, and what's more, a woman, should be offered that task. His words had been more like, "I need someone to watch over that girl so she doesn't screw the whole damn thing. Frankly, I think this is way beyond her depth, but for some reason, Robert insists on having it this way. Therefore, we have to take precautionary measures. The last thing we want is for those kids of his to file a lawsuit against the firm as a result of Clark's inexperience." That's it.
Yay! That is amazing. And I also want to draw attention on, there's some reviews on the back of the book, and one of your early reviewers is actually an attorney, and his comments were just really impressive, and made me very excited, as I don't know if maybe I had read the manuscript before I saw it, but he says it's an amazing debut novel that could be a script for a movie. Love to see that. A courtroom drama, and by itself a primer on estate and probate law. And he goes on to say that law schools and libraries, should have it in the collection, because it's such a great example. Marianne, what was your feeling the very first time that you read the manuscript? What were your thoughts?
I mean, I thought it was really strong off the bat. In addition to being this courtroom drama, and quite a very compelling one. And in fact, another one of the reviewers, I don't think I had a chance to tell you this, Yvette, but Nicola Davison, who wrote a blurb for the back, when she contacted me about it, she said, "I assume Yvette's a lawyer." So you're handling
Very believable.
The legal stuff is very impressive, but it is also this very satisfying romance in the end. And I knew, it was so well written, and I knew that it would have appeal to readers. And if I can quickly just tell the story, this is the manuscript I was thinking of when you and I met, Anne, and you explained that you were taking a hiatus from your publishing activities for the year so that you could focus on writing, and how you wished, you could keep them going, but you needed to take the time. And I was saying, oh, how I wish I was brave like you, and, could publish some of the manuscripts I worked on, because there have been these ones that are like really good, and I know readers would enjoy them, but I know they struggle to find a traditional publisher. And it's Yvette's manuscript I was thinking of. So when you then said, well, why don't you?
Then there was the Hallelujah chorus.
Come on, as associate publisher with OC Publishing. It was Yvette's manuscript that I thought, awesome. Then I can finally help Yvette get this book into the hands of readers, because I enjoyed reading it so much. I was certain that other people would enjoy reading it.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, that was an evening to be remembered, that's for sure. And this is the first, hopefully, of many of the projects that Marianne has identified and championed and loved, because these are all passion projects, I think, for us all. I mean, David, would you agree? Like, what is, like, when you approach a new project, I mean, you've also been doing work with OC Publishing almost from the very beginning.
Mhm.
And I actually, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I found David through an ad in the Atlantic Books Today.
Just connected by fate, right?
So, like, what is it that draws you to a project other than Anne saying, you have to do this for me?
Yeah, I mean, I love designing books. I do some editing work as well, and as you know, I'm sure Marianne would agree, when you're editing, you work on the book. It's a longer process, the editing process, and you get a lot more, I think, intimately involved with the book. The design is a shorter part of the process, but it's extra fun because you're really bringing the book to life. You know, you're making it something, really turning it from a manuscript, which is usually just like a Word document or something, into a book with pages, a cover, has a certain look to it. And that's, you know, that's the final product, right? So you're bringing it to that stage, and that's a lot of fun. And it's very satisfying because you often get a lot of gratitude and happiness from the from the author
when you see it
nice,
all
yeah.
come together. Oh my goodness. And thank you. So I can't believe, like, we're already over our 30-minute mark, but I also wanted to give a shout out to David for also being the person who does our ebook conversions, and all of our ebook projects now are known as Born Accessible. So they're certified accessible, and so Yvette's book, the ebook version, is an accessible ebook and available on all of the platforms that you would normally think of when you think of an ebook: Kindle, Nook, Kobo, iBooks, and such. So, Yvette, last thoughts or advice that you would give a first-time author or somebody who's considering putting their butt in the chair, writing a book?
Well, that's very easy for me to do. I would say find yourself a good editor. For me, that person was Marianne Ward. Her exceptional editorial expertise and unwavering support were instrumental in bringing this novel to completion. And I know we're limited in time, so there's so much more I could say, but thank you. Also, it was Marianne who directed me to OC Publishing, and I thank her for that. Working with 𝐬𝐮 has been an extraordinary experience, and your professionalism and commitment to excellence are unparalleled. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And what an amazing team. You guys are incredible. And congratulations again on the launch of Honor Above All, which is now available from any online retailer that you can possibly think of. You can have it ordered into your local bookstore. And Yvette will be doing some book signings, unfolding over the next little while. So watch and join us. And please, again, thank you guys so much. I can't believe how quickly this went.
No, I can't believe it.
I know. And thanks again.
Okay.
And
It's fun. Thank you, Anne, for all you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. And whoops. There's Yvette. Okay. I thought maybe we were going to do another. And thank you all for joining us on the author journey today. And we'll see you again next week. Congratulations to Yvette Ward MacDonald and the team, Marianne Ward and David Edelstein, for the launch of this gorgeous book, Honor Above All. And we're celebrating the success and hope that you'll join us again next time on the author journey. For now, I'm Anne O'Connell with OC Publishing. Bye for now.